5 or 50 minutes, right? So they give us 10 minutes to take a bathroom break or whatever you need to do, and then we'll reconvene. So I'm going to set the pace, read the entirety of book 1, and then we will reconvene.
I'm missing the first 116 lines.
Okay. Anyone else have any problems?
No.
No? Everyone next to somebody that has a book.
By the way, if I fall asleep, just smack me.
All right.
With what?
You're all part of history. You realize
Wait, Mr. James.
This is like a Latin.
Are we taking a break after you finish?
We're gonna break after book. We'll see where we are after book 1.
Okay.
Right. So no horsing around, please. We have 12 hours to do this.
So you're gonna read the whole thing. Do we have to follow along?
I'm gonna read the entirety of book 1, and so yes, you're gonna follow along, obviously. And then after I read book 1, we'll split up the duties. I'll read, and then we'll talk about how to divvy it up. But I want to time reading book 1 so that we know where we are. Right?
Okay.
Okay.
It's 8:11.
I have a watch. Thank you.
I have some.
Everybody have a book?
8:11.
What?
You wanna wait till 8:12?
I'm ready.
Okay. We will begin.
Yeah, it's 8:12.
All right, don't fall asleep. Here we go. Arms in the man I sing of Troy, who first from its seashores Italy bound, fate's refugee, arrived at Lavinia's coastlands. How he was battered about over land, over high deep seas by the powers above. Savage Juno's anger remembered him, and he suffered profoundly in war to establish a city, settle his gods into Latium, making this land of the Latins future home to the elders of Alba and Rome's mighty ramparts. Muse, let the memories spill through me. What divine will has wounded, what deep hurt made the queen of the gods thrust a famously righteous man into so many spirals of chance, to face so many labors? Anger so great, can it really reside in the spirits of heaven? Once an old city existed, and Tyrian settlers controlled it. Carthage, a distant menace to Italy facing the Tiber's estuary, rich in resources, ferocious in practice of warfare. Juno repeatedly cherished this one land more than all others, even than Samos. In Carthage she kept both her chariot and her weapons. This was her candidate city, to rule as the king of all nations, if fate allowed. For this role she was grooming it even in those days. But there was being produced, she'd heard, from the bloodline of the Trojans, offspring that would one day overturn her Tyrian fortress, people who'd rule far and wide like kings, full of pride in their war skills, sure to arrive and cut Libya's thread spun on destiny's spindles. Fearing this, haunted by memories, too, of a war from the deep past, one she had fought at Troy for her well-loved Argives, Saturnian Juno had never let fall from her mind these causes of anger, savaging pains, for they stuck, stored fast in her mind's deep awareness. One was the judgment of Paris that bypassed, insulted her beauty. Hate for Troy eviled her eye. Add Ganymede, raped and exalted. Burning with these thoughts too, she battered all over the high seas remnants of Troy that the Greeks and their never gentle Achilles missed. She relentlessly kept them at bay, far distant from Latium. Many the years, fate-driven, they strayed over sea after salt sea. Planting the Roman nation's roots was a task of immense scale. Scarcely had Sicily faded from view. They were setting their canvas, spirits high, on the deep. Bronze prows plowed brine into foam spray. Juno, who kept her wound eternally fresh in her bosom, said to herself, "Am I beaten, my plans all dead? Is preventing Teucer's descendant from landing as Italy's king beyond my power? Granted, the fates are opposed, but if so, how is Pallas empowered? Just for the insane crime of a single man, son of Oileus, Ajax, to burn an entire Greek navy and drown all its sailors. Out of the clouds she herself hurled Jupiter's lightning. She scattered vessels, her storm winds churned calm seas. And, so much for Ajax, lungs thunderbolted, he vomited fire. She dispatched a tornado, whirled him away as he died, and impaled him upon a sharp reef rock. I, meanwhile, who rank as queen of the gods, Jupiter's sister, Jupiter's wife, have been waging war with this one single nation all these years. Will anyone now still pray for my favor, offering humbly on bended knee his gifts at my altars? Inwardly spinning such thoughts, heart blazing with anger, the goddess comes to Iolia, storm cloud land, ever raging with tempests. Iolus rules here as king, and restrains with imperial power, deep in a cavern's vastness, the struggling winds and the howling hurricanes, bridling their rage with a prison's chains and portcullis. Hating restraint, they seethe all round their bolted escape routes, making the mountain roar. Here Iolus, holding a scepter, sits on a high peak, soothes winds' fury, tempers their anger. If he did not, they would tear straight out and swirl away with them oceans, land, vast sky, swept off like dust upon breezes. Fearing precisely this, the Almighty Father confined them deep within caves, then superimposed high mountainous masses, gave them a ruler who'd understand from a well-defined contract how to restrain, and upon his command give rein to their movements. Juno came humbly begging his help, and addressed him as follows. Iolus, I come to you since the Father of gods and men's ruler granted you power both to quiet waves and to raise them with windstorms. Sailing the Tuscan Sea is a people unfriendly towards me, ferrying Ilium and already conquered gods of its households over to Italy. Make your winds hurricanes, shatter their navy, sink them, or split their forces and litter the waves with their bodies. I, by the way, have 14 nymphs with simply outstanding bodies. The one with the prettiest figure is Deipobia. I'll designate her as yours, join you both in a durable marriage. Thus she can spend all time with you in return for your service rendered, and make you the father as well of some beautiful children. Iolus answered, My ruler, your task is but this, to discover what you desire to achieve. My duty's obedience to orders. You ensure